to win an STI. Today's mission, get cruise control working in the Evo 8. What is going on, my friends? Welcome back to the channel. Welcome to another video. So in the last video that you guys saw, we got the Evo 10 steering wheel and airbag fully installed. Go check that video out if you didn't see it and you want to know how it's done. It's a little complex, but not too big of a deal. Main reason I wanted to go with the Evo 10 OEM setup is for these functions right here, cruise control. This car is running the Heltec Elite 2500 and a drive-by-wire setup, not the factory drive-by cable, so it should be pretty simple to get cruise control working in the Evo 8. And if we can get that working, we should also be able to get all the audio controls to work with our eye-doing head unit and assign these for fun stuff. Rolling Antilag, rotational idle, and I don't know, something fun. First thing we're gonna focus on is cruise control. So if you look down here, this is the back of our clock spring. The Evo 8 has one wire coming out of it. It is this red wire right here. The Evo 10 has 6. One is connected to that red wire like factory. The other 5, I'm assuming, are outputs for all of the buttons on the steering wheel. So I'm gonna go ahead and do some testing. I think how cruise control technically works, for the most part, is all based off voltage parameters. For example, if we hit, and this is just a rough example, if we hit this, one wire will go to, let's say, a volt. If we hit this, that same wire will go to 2 volts. That same wire, 3 volts. That same wire, 4 volts. You guys get the point? I think that's how it's going to be set up in here. But of course, to verify, we need to do some testing. I have no idea which one of those 6 wires is going to be sending voltage. But as soon as we figure it out, I'll be able to wire that back to the ECU and then set up the parameters in the Heltec ECU, and then we should have functioning cruise control. In our Evo 8, that makes 800 wheel horsepower. That also has AC with a forward-facing turbo. You guys see where I'm going with this? I'm trying to build the ultimate Evo 8 here. And the ultimate Evo 8 needs cruise control. So none of the wires that I suspected would give me a signal or give me any sort of voltage change whatsoever. I'm suspecting one of those wires needs to be grounded, how it would be on a factory Evo 10. So I need to make a call and see. I don't have access to that diagram, but I know someone who does.
Your call has been forwarded to voicemail.
There's a red and yellow wire in number 4. It's right by a green. That red and yellow looks like it's gonna be yeah, it looks like that one's gonna be either grounded or that one.
This is proving to be a little bit more intricate than I had anticipated. I did have to order a few things. First being a pack of resistors, because we need to start messing with resistors for the cruise control side of things. And I had to buy an IO expander, which is an input-output expander for the Heltec. With cruise control, you need quite a few different inputs: clutch switch, brake switch, of course, input for all the steering wheel functions. And unfortunately, that won't be in for at least 3 or 4 days. So I picked up this whole book of different resistors, but I don't think we're gonna need it. I did some messing around in the settings of the Heltec, and I think I figured it out. Excuse the mess, this is all temporary. So you see all these wires right here coming off the back of the clock spring. 1 goes to horn, 2 and 3, that's gonna be for the audio controls, those guys there. 4 and 5, those guys are for the cruise control. And number 6 is for illumination, safe when we turn the lights on the car. If we want these to light up, we would wire that to a switched power source. So we're gonna be messing with wires 4 and 5. Wire 4 is gonna should go back to ground. So I'll just connect it right there real quick. And then wire 5, that is gonna go to the Heltec. And that's where I think I got it figured out without using any resistors. If you use an AVI input, you can have pull-up enabled or disabled. And what the pull-up is, it enables a resistor, a 1K ohm resistor, to the input. That is what I was going to do anyway, using an actual resistor. But if we can just do that inside the Heltec, that should technically take care of our issue. So that mess of wiring right there, The end of it is going to connect to pin 5, and then like I said earlier, pin 4 will go to ground, and then we can do some button pressing and see if we get different voltages. All we need is different voltages when we hit each button. Say when we hit that, it's 3 volts, 4 volts, 2 volt, 1 volt, something along those lines. Everything, and I mean everything, is very ghettoly wired. Just for a quick mock-up, let's go ahead and see if this is gonna work. Now for the cruise control to work, you do need the clutch and brake switches wired back into the ECU as well, just so that when you're cruising, say with cruise control on and you go to hit the brakes, the ECU knows to turn off cruise control, so it's not trying to accelerate as you're hitting the brakes. So this is the input of choice, AVI 10, which is A14. Here's that resistor I was talking about earlier, that is enabled. At rest, not hitting any buttons, we're at 4.97 volts. Now if we hit, say, cancel, it brings it to 0.8 volts, accelerate 3.2, coast set 1.8, on off brings it all the way down to 0 volts. That's all we needed. We just needed a variance of voltage when we hit each button. Now it should be pretty easy. All I had to do was just go into the button settings and match everything up. So the enable disables at 0 volts, set coast 1.86, so on and so forth. If my math is correct, we should now have working cruise control in the Evo 8. Let's go drive and see if it actually works. All right guys, here's the moment of truth. We click it on, and we can, if we wanted, we could wire that to like a light later on so we know whether it's on or off. So as of right now, it's on. Let's go ahead and hit set and see if it works. Set. Oh, there we go. It's driving itself. No feet. Look at that. Look at that, dude. Working cruise control in the Evo 8. So I went ahead and cleaned up all of the wiring. Cruise control is officially 100% done. It's working exactly how it should. Clutch and brake are both wired in to the Haltech, so it knows what I was describing earlier. The next thing I started working on, but unfortunately I think I fried something in the radio, was these functions here. Now, unfortunately, whenever I connect the radio, the wiring, it pops the fuse. So I think I may have shorted something out in there, unfortunately. So I'm gonna have to get a replacement one of those. So the next thing I'm tinkering on right now is rotational idle, and I think I got the perfect setup. So being that all 3 of these buttons here and all these go through that one wire, I decided I'm gonna activate rotational through the on-off switch here, and I don't need any additional wiring for this. I'm using the same cruise control wire, and it's just a condition enable right down here. So if you click this, condition enable is set to cruise control state, not equal to when the cruise control is disabled. I know that may sound a little bit funny, but basically how this is going to work is, let's go ahead and fire up the car. So as of right now, no rotational idle, as you guys can hear. As soon as we hit this, we have rotational idle. Hit it again, goes back to normal idle. Now, of course, we can't have rotational idle come on the same time that we're trying to activate cruise control that actually use cruise control. So rotational is disabled over 1,000 RPM, which means when we're cruising and we go to activate cruise control, rotational will be disabled because, of course, we would be over 1,000 RPM. Super nice that I was able to get that all set up without adding any more wiring, because I'm pretty much out of, well, I am completely out of inputs on the Elite 2500. If I want to put more inputs into that thing, I am going to need an IO expander. I think I should be able to do the same thing with rolling anti-lag. Let me do some figuring, some configuring, and some adjustments and see if I can get it figured out. I went ahead and assigned rolling anti-lag to this button right here, so coast set. As we're cruising, we should be able to hold this down, activating rolling anti-lag. Let's take a look. So this is super easy to do as well. Switch on voltage 1.86, switch off 4.9. Of course that varies car to car, but that is the voltage for this button right here. As of right now, it's off. Hold that button in. Rolling anti-lag is on, let off, goes off, on, off. Now, let's go test that in a real world experience and see how it is. This whole section is all the fun stuff. I wanted to put it all right here, these 3 buttons, go to the back of the radio, not to the ECU, just like these buttons do. So anything fun like rotational idle and rolling anti-lag, we can just easily program into these. So on off, that's rotational idle, and the coast set button is for rolling anti-lag. I'd say she works. This is the coolest thing I've ever done. I did the rolling anti-lag on the Type R as well. I never really got to use it. It's fun. It's a lot of fun. I need to make some adjustments. It's only given me like 5 pounds on anti-lag. So I could probably make some tweaks, or just have Chag make some tweaks, because truth be told, I don't really know what I'm doing. Look at this. Control, rolling anti-lag, rotational idle. Everything that I wanted to get functioning with the steering wheel swap, other than the audio controls, is now 100% complete. Full factory working cruise control, rotational idle, rolling anti-lag, and say in the future, if I ever wanted to do more fun stuff, we have other buttons that I could program to do whatever. I did some reading on how to do all this. That should be pretty simple to do. We just wire it right to the back of the radio. There's only 2 wires that we need to control, and it's gonna pretty much work the same way as this does. Each button sending a different voltage, a different signal to the radio. Now, of course, I can't test that theory until we have a working radio back in the car, but I think that is gonna be just as easy as this. Now, today is the big day. As you guys know, I was giving away my Hyperblue STI, and today is the live stream for picking the winner. I am very curious to see who this car is gonna go home to. Y'all ready for this? Give me some thumbs ups in the chat if you are ready to win an STI. Here's where the nerves kick in. For all of us, me and you. Here's the whole entry list. Been on the website all day. You guys can go on here and search via this button here. I'll hit generate. Whatever number this generates, I'll correlate back to the entry number list, selecting the winner for the STI. You ready? 3, 2, 1. Bam! 14821. Oh boy. 14821. Sean Millett, San Jose, freaking California. California, brother, massive congrats, brother. San Jose, California. Of all places, the car is going to California. San Jose, California. Now I have no idea how the California Policia are gonna feel about a very heavily modified Subaru, but I guess we'll see.